Hello and welcome to today's webinar on the OnPageFactors. We're glad that everyone could make it here today, and we're going to be going over basically things that you need to do on your website. But before we go ahead and get started, I wanted to take you to our website where you actually register for the webinars, and that is www.marketingwebinartraining.com. So if we go to our marketingwebinartraining.com site, you'll see that it takes you to a site that it does a step-by-step instruction list. So as you can see here, it has step 1, step 2, and then goes down all the way down to step 3. But here, step 1, you'll be able to watch some of the videos so you can understand what we're doing, but also the Intro to SEO video is one video that is extremely important that we highly recommend that you watch if you haven't had a chance to do so. So simply you would just click on this link and it will take you to that video. Step 2 is understanding the webinar schedule and downloading the corresponding guide. So each of our webinars has a guide that you can download so you can follow along with the presentation, take notes, and everything. So if you would like, you can take the time to do it now or after the webinar and download the corresponding guide. Again, you would just go to marketingwebinartraining.com. It will take you to this page, and then you simply click on the guide that you want to download. So in this case, we'd want to download the OnPageFactors guide. You just simply click on that and go from there. Now, also continuing on here, step 3 is actually choosing the webinar that you want to sign up for. So below step 3 will have a list of the webinars that you can sign up for. You just simply choose the time and date that works best for you and simply sign up. Makes it very easy, very simple, very quick to be able to do the things that you need to do. So hopefully that works out for you. But again, it's just marketing webinar training that will take you to where you need to go. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on here. So if we go and start the let's go ahead and start the presentation. So today we're going to be talking about a couple things here. We're going to be talking about first the meta title, then we'll be talking about the meta description, and then the meta keywords. And then following those, we'll be talking about ad copy and kind of the things that are involved in that. So in this case, we have page headings, we have an opening paragraph, we have a main body, we have a closing paragraph, and then you also have a keyword density of 2 to 4%. And then lastly, we're going to be talking about alt image tags and what that is and the importance of those. Also, just so you know, throughout the presentation we're going to be talking a lot about this stuff, but also at the kind of near the end of the webinar we're going to be showing you some examples, so not to worry. Alright, so with OnPageFactors we have a couple things. First, we have a title, and title is about 6 to 12 words long, or about 60 to 70 characters long. The thing that you want to remember is anything longer than that, it will get cut off and Google and the other search engines won't see it. So you want to make sure that you keep it in that range. The other thing is, too, you want to make sure that you focus on 2 to 3 keyword phrases. And again, if you try to fit more than keywords than that, it will get cut off. And so that's why typically it's about 2 to 3 that you can fit in. And then you also have, for those that need the code, this is the actual code that you would use to create a title in your website. Now, if you have a business center with us, you do not need this code. It's something very simple that we'll show you how to add in just a moment. But the code's there just in case you need it. That's what you would do. Okay, next we're going to talk about description and kind of what that is. So description is about 25 to 30 words long, or about 150 to 170 characters long. Same thing here. If it gets cut off, or if it's too long, it will get cut off. So that's something you got to remember. And then same thing, you want to do the 2 to 3 keyword phrases, but you want to make sure that you do the same keyword phrases that you did in the title. That's important because, again, it really just kind of uniforms everything and kind of unifies everything in your meta information. That's what Google kind of wants to see, is they want to see that you're using, kind of have that uniformity effect of the same keywords, you know, on a specific page, and they're not all over the place. Then you have the keywords tag. With the keywords tag, it's about 3 to 10 keywords you can fit in the keyword tag. It is separated by a comma and a space, and you want to make sure that at least you put in the same keyword phrases that you did in the title, so just like the description. But the thing is with this is Even though some search engines might not look at this tag a whole lot anymore, some still do, and that's why you should still use it. It doesn't hurt to put it in, but again, to be honest, you want to make sure that the most important keywords that you have are on your title and then are also on your description. So make sure that that still remains a fact and factor there. All right, so next we're going to be going over the ad copy and kind of what's involved with that. So ad copy, for those that don't know what that is just the content that's found on the web page. So with that, there are a couple factors that Google looks at when they're looking at the content. So number one, they're going to be looking at what's called the headline. And then the headline, you can have multiple headlines, matter of fact, but the headline's usually at the very beginning, and you can either use an H1, H2, or H3 tag. That's code that's found in the source code. But the cool thing is the Business Center has a simple, you would just highlight the word and you just simply hit heading 1, heading 2, or heading 3. So again, you don't need to know code, but anyway, you use the H1, H2, H3 tags. You want to use about 2 to 3 keywords per phrase in those headings, so that's important. Again, you want to make sure that it's the same keywords that you used in the title. Next, you have an opening paragraph, and with that, it's about 15% of the words that are on the page. So you have a main body, you have and then you have the main body, which is about 70% of the page. So opening paragraph is typically about maybe the first or second paragraph, just depending on how many words you have. Then you have the main body, which is 70% of the content, and with that, it's probably about 4, 5, 6 paragraphs. Again, just depending on how many words you have. And then lastly, you have that concluding paragraph, which is about 15% of the words that are on the page. So that's usually 1 to 2 paragraphs, again, depending on how many words you have. You want to make sure that you have a keyword density of 2 to 4%. With that, that's just making sure that the keywords that you decided to put in your title tag are found in your ad copy 2 to 4% of the time. So if you had 1,000 words of content on a page, that means that your keyword phrase would need to be found in the ad copy about 20 to 40 times. Now, if you put it in 40 times and it's 4%, it just doesn't sound very natural. Then what I want you to do is bring it down to the 3 or 2%. So that's why it's kind of had that range. It's basically whatever makes it sound more natural. So kind of keep that in mind. Okay, and then also keyword distribution. You just want to make sure that the keywords are found, aren't just found like in the opening paragraph in the main body. You want to make sure that they're found out through the entire thing, so they're evenly spread out, scattered throughout the entire thing. That's important to make sure that you do that. So that's ad copy. That's how you make content on your site. Optimized for the search engines to come in and see what's going on. Okay, next we have OnPageFactors. And with the OnPageFactors, how that works is the fifth one is image alt tags. So that's the fifth one we're going to be talking about today. So for those that need the HTML code, you would just use alt equals keyword, and that's in the image tag when you're making it. Now, if you have a Business Center, again, the nice thing is you don't need to know any HTML code to put in the alternate tag, so we'll show you that here in just a moment. Then you want to make sure you use 3 keyword phrases in that alternate tag, so that way it's just not one keyword. You have a couple that you can fit in there, so it looks nice. Because what happens is Google will come to your website and they'll see pictures and images, but they can't look at an image and know what it's about or know what it is. And so they rely on the alt image tags to be able to determine what the picture's about. So this gives you an opportunity to not only put in more keywords in there, but let Google know what you're about. So it's important to make sure that you use your keyword phrases in there. Now, every image on your site should have an alternative tag. If it doesn't, start going through and checking all your images to make sure it does. If you need help with it, you're welcome to call our support team. They're there to help you out whenever you need assistance. Okay, so let's quickly look at some other important on-page factors that you want to keep in mind. You want to make sure that the keyword is found in the URL. Now this applies only to sub-pages because you can't do this with the home page because the home page is just the domain name. But all your category pages, all your products, all your other pages have what's called a sub-page. And so basically it's your domainname.com / whatever page they're on. So in this case, you can actually go in and change the URL to whatever you'd like. So if you wanted it to be a keyword, you could do that. And again, we'll show you that here and how to do that in the Business Center. Again, it makes it very easy and simple to go in and change that to your advantage. Keyword prominence. It is important that your keywords are found early in your content and not mentioned later in the text. So how early does your keyword show up in the page or tag? That's important to realize. Okay, well, is it not till later, or do I mention it pretty quickly? You again typically want to do it early in the content and not later, because it kind of confuses Google if you do that. Bolding keywords is a good idea. They love to see code because anytime you bold text or anything like that, it's actual code. And so if you're bolding keywords, that's good because they'll be able to see that. Your users will be able to see that. You don't want to necessarily bold every single keyword on your site, but do that every so often. But not only bolding, you can underline, you can italicize. Again, the kind of a neat little feature. And again, we'll show you that in the Business Center. And then lastly, you want to make sure that you have keywords and anchor text. So again, we'll show you some examples of those in a moment, but it's basically turning your keyword in your ad copy into a clickable link and just having them go to various pages on your website. Again, they like to see that code, and it makes it nicer for the user to be able to click on and gets them kind of enticed and interested to see where that link goes. And you can take them to any page on your site. Alright, so let's quickly review what we just went over. So we talked about the meta title, meta description, meta keywords, the meta information, and the importance of those. We also talked about ad copy and all the parameters that need to be included in there, like the page heading, opening paragraph, main body, and closing paragraph, and then also making sure that the keyword density of your keywords that you used in the meta tags are found in there about 2 to 4% of the time. And then lastly, we talked about alt image tags and kind of the things that we can look at there. So hopefully you had an opportunity to write some of this stuff down. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and show you some examples of how we actually go about doing a lot of these. So let's go ahead and pull up the Business Center. And we have just a mock website that we use that sells knives, so it's not a real site, but it's just for your education. But if you go into the Business Center under the My Website tab located here, and then also the SEO tools, which is located here. So you click on here, and then you want to go into the Meta Information tab. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Meta Information. And it will take you to this page. This is basically what this page does. It's a really neat page that will let you see how much meta information you have on every single page. We'll show you what pages have it and what pages don't. So you can easily go in and add the meta information. Now, the thing you want to remember is you want to make sure that every single page on your site has meta information. If it doesn't, start working on that. That's very important. They like to see meta information because that's really the foundation of a page, and it really lets Google know what you're about. If you don't have meta information, Google usually doesn't have an idea of what you're about, and that's not a good thing. We want you to be able to have an opportunity to appear on every page on your site, not just a few. So if you scroll down here, it'll show you every single page on your site. It'll show all the blog posts, it'll show categories, and everything. Now the cool thing is you can update multiple pages at once. So I'm actually going to go up here and hit select, and I'm going to hit deselect all in all pages. This makes it so it doesn't have anything on all the pages. So that way we can do that. Because if you have pages you don't want necessarily selected, that's fine. You can just hit deselect all in all pages. Again, that's just located here, so you can be able to do that. And then the other thing is the meta queue, which is right here. This is where you actually put the pages you want to update the meta information for. So you want to make sure that's empty to get started. As you can see, there's no pages anywhere, so we're good to go there. Now we need to select the pages we want to add the meta information for. So I'm going to simply click on the pages I want to add. Click on here, and then when we're done, you just simply hit Add to Selected to Queue, which is located here. And then you say Add all 3 selected to queue, and hit OK. Okay, and then when you're done, you simply just hit Go to Queue up here, and then it will take you to the actual pages that you want to start updating for. So right here, we have assisted opening knives, and we have the keywords in here, and then we also have the description. So it allows you to update the information here. So just so you know, a good title, again, includes your keywords, and then a good description is just, maybe 2 sentences, gives a call to action, inviting your user to do something, and then again includes the keywords that you used in your title. But when you're done, you simply just hit the Save button located here at the right of each one, so you can save them individually, or you can come up here and hit the Save All button. So that's up to you on how you want to go about doing that. Okay, let's move on to the so now we know how to update the meta information on any page on your site. Let's go ahead and look at the ad copy. So here's our mock website that we have here, websitewalkthrough.com, and I used the keyword phrase here. I used assisted opening knives. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do a search for that. So you can see it's going to highlight every time it has meta information in here. The keyword in there. So in this case, it's going to highlight assisted opening knives. So as you can see, we have it in there 1 time. We have it in there 2 times. Oh, and it looks like it's in the middle paragraphs, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, okay, so it's been there 6 or 7 times, which is awesome. So as you can see, it's in there a couple times, but it's found in every single paragraph that's found in there. So again, we have a opening paragraph, which is right here. Then we have the main body, which is the 2 paragraphs here. And then you have, this is also probably part of the main body, which is located here. And then we have the concluding paragraph, which is right here. And again, you'll notice every paragraph has a keyword in there. So it achieves that keyword density of 2 to 4%. I believe the keywords I've put in there are about 2% density. So you're welcome to look at that. And you just go to Website Walkthrough to see that. And then you'll also notice that one of them is clickable. So you'll notice I just clicked that. Let me go back so you can see that again. But you'll notice when I put my mouse over it, you'll see that I can click on it. That's an anchor text. So making sure that the anchor text is in there. Let's actually look at in the Business Center where you'd update the URL. So if you wanted to update like a category page or a product, you would just go to the SEO section. So if we pull up a category, let me actually pull up a category here real quick. So if I go to assisted opening knives, I can change the URL under the SEO section. You'll see where it says SEO URL. So I can come in here and it's basically / whatever you want it to be. So it kind of makes it kind of nice. And then when you're done changing to whatever you wanted it to be, you just simply say, hey, save category. The same thing goes for the pages. When you go edit pages, the process is very similar. It's under the SEO section, and you can add that information there. Okay, so now that we've looked at ad copy, let's actually look at an alternative tag. So I have placed just an image of a knife right here so I can show you the demonstration of the alt tag. So if we go to the Business Center and we go to where the image is, and we can go ahead and edit it. So I'm going to go ahead and edit the image. Okay, so you'll see that the image is right there. Now if you right click on the image, you'll see an option that says Image Properties. You simply just click that option. And then you'll notice there's a text box underneath that will give you the opportunity to put in that alternative text. That is where you put the alternative text in. So you want about 2 to 3 keywords. So as you can see, I just put in assisted opening knives, sharp knives, and cool knives. So those were my keywords that I used in there. So it makes it very easy, makes it very simple, so it puts it in the code. Now if we actually look at the source code, this is what Google sees. So they look at this, but they see the beginning. They say image alt equals, and then you'll notice there's the alternative text that we saw. And then it references where the picture is on the site, and then it also does some parameters if you want to change how big or small it is. So kind of makes it cool, but that's what Google sees when they come to your site. They don't see the actual picture, they look at this code right here. Okay, and then when you're done, you just simply hit save, and then you also want to make sure you hit publish anytime you make any changes. So you simply hit publish, and you're good to go. So those were all the examples that I wanted to show today. So hopefully you guys were able to learn a lot in that regard. So now what do you do from here? What's your action plan? Well, first I want you to create an SEO wireframe for your site. For those who have had an opportunity to look at the Intro to SEO video, I want you to watch that again if you've already seen it, or if you don't feel like you need it, that's fine. But in there it talks about the SEO wireframe. Basically what that is basically a map of your entire site. That's important to know, so that way you kind of understand where you need to start working on. What pages have what? Does this page have meta information or does it not? And things like that. Then you want to do some research and try to find some keywords for each page. Now, every page should have its own set of keywords. You can use the same keyword every now and then for a couple pages, but to be honest, if you can have different keywords for every single page, that's ideal. That's what you want. And so, create an SEO wireframe for your site, and then do some research and find some keywords. You just want to make sure the searches are being done so people are actually using those keywords, and that the competition's relatively low. Then you want to, thirdly, implement the keywords that you find onto your site. So again, you want to do that by doing a title. You put the keywords in the title, put the keywords in your description. You also put the keywords in your keywords tag. And then also you want to make sure that they're in your ad copy with the 2 to 4% density. Now for those that need help or want some resources, if you go to www.wordcounter.net, you can copy your content in there, and it will tell you how many keywords you have or how many words you have. So that way you can figure out how to do the density. So let's say, for example, I had 336 words. I can actually type into Google, what is 2% of 336? And it will tell me, it will usually give me a decimal, but it will say, this is how many times should be included. So I think 2% of 336 is about about 6.7 or something like that. So that means it would be in there roughly about 6 or 7 times. Usually round up or round down, either way works. But that's roughly, again, about the 2% density is where you want it to be. But you can use Google if you're not the best at math like myself. So anyway, that's the webinar today. We're going to, again, quickly remind you about the marketingwebinartraining.com. If you haven't had a chance to go to that, please go to it and look at the new format that we've made. Also, as well, we want to give this opportunity now for you guys to ask any questions that you have. Again, this can be questions about anything in regards to what we went over, or anything of that nature. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the time for you guys. We'll wait about 1 to 2 minutes, and we'll go ahead and answer those questions live. So those questions will be answered by myself or one of my assistants. So hopefully we can go ahead and get that going here. So again, use this opportunity to write that. I'm going to move the screen back to your action plan, so if you didn't have a chance to fully write that down, you can. Or again, you can go to Marketing Webinar Training to download the guide, so that way you don't have to write this down. Hopefully we've made it as easy as possible for you. So again, take the time to ask these questions. They can be anything over what we went in today, anything on your site, anything to do with marketing. We're here to help you. So we'll go ahead and give you about 1 to 2 minutes to do that. Thank you.